Ugh, too warm. Hey guys, welcome to Film Learnin, the show dedicated to learning you some filmmaking and learning you good. Just a quick announcement while I have your attention, gang. Next week will be the season finale of Film Learnin. It's been 32 episodes of fun, but I have some other projects I need to tackle, and quite frankly, I'm stuffed, I need a break. So we'll be back with new episodes starting in September. But on the plus side, the finale episode will be a Q&A session. I'll be opening up the floor so you can ask me anything you want, filmmaking or not. So leave your questions down in the comment section and I'll try to answer all of them during the show. No one will get the cold shoulder. Speaking of which, is it chilly in here? Or is it this request that's been keeping me frosty? RX-3 Productions said, I had a dream you uploaded the ice ball effect. Haha, but yeah, I would love that tutorial. I would also appreciate how to freeze someone and making it look real. Ice King also said, Ice King effects. And Ninja Project said, or anything with ice. So today we'll be tackling a Sub-Zero style ice effect. We won't be freezing anyone today as I'm still working on making that look cool. Instead, we'll be covering just conjuring the energy blast. That said, I will show you a neat practical effect to freeze a glass like in the opening clip. I gotta admit, this one was a tough nut to crack, as most times I've seen freezing effects done, they either look crap or involve the use of makeup or 3D animation. Now I've taken my cue for the energy conjuring from the teaser trailer for Mortal Kombat 10 or X or whatever you want to call it. I thought it looked cool, and I thought I could recreate it with a minimum of fuss. So all you'll need to complete this effect is a clip of you pretending to conjure the energy, releasing it. I'll also be using some fire assets from Action Essentials 2, and a clip from the new Video Copilot release, Shockwave. We'll be covering the freezing effect once we're done with this shot. So here we are in After Effects. Just a quick update if you haven't checked the Film Learnin Facebook or Twitter feed, my computer has crashed After Effects nearly 20 times during the capture of this effect, and it's all when I try to show you how to build this energy blast. So what I will be doing is showing you the different parts of the energy blast, and I'll talk about what I did to make it. I'll add another video on how to build it soon, but in the meantime I've rendered out an alpha channel pass for the effect for you to download. So let's see what goes into the effect. First off, we have a clip from Video Copilot's Shockwave. I chose one that starts out from a small circle, so that way when we reverse it, it looks like the energy is condensing. To colour it, I've used the Video Copilot Color Vibrance plugin as well. It's a free download and the link is in the description. Next, I've used the Kamehameha ball we created a couple of months back as the base for the ice blast. I've also added two fire assets from Action Essentials 2 that I've added a blue tint to, and the Color Vibrance plugin as well, just to match the colour of the Shockwave. In order to get them all timed correctly, I simply right-clicked and enabled time remapping to the Shockwave and the ball layers and adjusted those keyframes until it looked just right. The end result of combining all those elements looks like this. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's build the rest of the effect. Here I've got my footage in a comp ready to go. I'm going to duplicate this comp in the project menu, name one Final and one Animate. From there, we'll open up Animate, drop our Energy Blast in, and change the transfer mode to screen. Next, we'll scrub forward to the point where you move your hands back to generate the energy, and then we'll position the clip in place. You can then scale up or down if you need to at this point. As you can see, we've run into a problem with our pre-rendered footage. The timing doesn't match up with our actors' movements. So what we're going to do is right-click on our Energy Blast and enable time remapping. We'll drag the clip forward until we see that keyframe, and then move it forward about a third. Shift it back into place, and then we'll check out the timing now. Perfect. This might take you a little bit of tweaking to get it into place, but it's worth it. Next, hit P and hit the stopwatch on position and go frame by frame, tracking your hand movements all the way up to the launch. We'll then animate it flying off screen. I ended up doing this over the course of a few frames. Once that's done, let's head up and grab our smoke puff and drop it on in. We'll change the transfer mode to screen, flip it horizontally, position it into place, and scale it down. We'll add the same tint and color vibrance effects as the fire, but dial back the amount of blue to make it more pale in comparison, just for a little bit of contrast. Next, we want to get the timing just right, so let's right click on the smoke puff and enable time remapping. We'll adjust the keyframes below to make it really fire that smoke out to simulate a trail coming off the bowl. That looks pretty good, but that edge is ugly as hell, so let's fix that. Grab the pen tool and mask around the edge of the smoke frame, and then we'll go super wide to finish it off. Hit F and we'll feather it to around 35 pixels to soften our mask. Let's check out a preview. Okay, It's looking good. Our next step is to turn off the footage layer and add a new adjustment layer. Head up to Effect, scroll all the way down to Trapcode and add Trapcode Shine. You can grab a demo of this plugin in the description. You don't need it, but I think it adds a little bit more depth to the effect. So let's change some of those settings. Collapse down the Colorize menu and change the Colorize to Electric. We'll then crank that ray length to 0, scrub forward until our energy starts to appear, and hit the stopwatch. Go forward again a few more frames and crank it up to around 2.6. Go forward until your ball is formed and crank it up to 3.7. From there, we'll grab the source point and drag it down so it's in the middle of our energy blast. Next, we'll hit the stopwatch and move forward a few frames, tracking it just to the point where it's about to launch. Then we'll just leave it be. Make sure you've got motion blur turned on for the comp and some of the layers, and now let's check out a preview. Getting better, George. Now that our effect is animated, open up the final comp and we'll drop our animate comp in. Set the transfer mode to screen and then duplicate it. As always, if we have a bright energy on screen, we have light fall off. So let's grab an adjustment layer, head up to Effect, Color Correction, grab Exposure, head back up and grab a Curves. We'll then crank that exposure up a little. From there, select the blue channel in the curves and bump it up a bit, just so we've got a nice blue tinge to the scene. Next, we'll head up, grab the pen tool, and draw a rough mask around the actor where you'd like the fall off to be. Hit F and feather it out a bunch, around 50 pixels should do it. We'll then collapse the mask menu down and hit the stopwatch on mask path, going frame by frame and adjusting the mask position and shape as our actor and ball move until we reach that final position. Now that we've covered the energy conjuring and release of the ice effect, time to show you that neat little practical trick you saw in the beginning clip. So this trick is pretty easy to pull off. We're essentially just putting two shots together. We get a shot of our glass on the table, and then we switch it out for a glass we've had in the freezer. Line them up on top of each other in the comp, grab the impact effect shot from the download pack and drop it on in and change the transfer mode to screen. You may have to reposition it or scale it up or down to fit your shot. From there, we'll scrub forward to the point where the shockwave first starts to expand. Next, select the top footage layer, head up and grab the ellipse tool and draw a small circle mask. Set it to subtract. From there, we'll turn off the impact layer and collapse down the mask settings. Hit the stopwatch on mask expansion and crank it down until it's no longer visible. Turn the impact layer back on and scrub forward a few frames, adjusting your mask expansion to the expansion of the shockwave. Once you've expanded your mask fully, it's time to feather it out a crap load. As you can see, if I turn off the impact layer, you can see that both of my glasses don't match up properly. It's mainly because they're crappy glasses and they're both uneven. But by animating the mask expansion to match the shockwave, we're hiding that. As you can also see, our mask expansion only goes so far before it stops. So how do we fix that? Select the top layer, hit T on the keyboard to bring up opacity and set a keyframe. We'll then scrub forward a few frames and crank that opacity down to 0. Turn on the impact layer, duplicate it, and that's it. Add all those steps together and you'll end up with something like this. Ugh, too warm. So that's my take on the Sub-Zero Ice Blast. It's pretty basic, and I promise I'll revisit this one later on for a more advanced effect. I know that some of you'd say I cheated that freezing part, and I kinda did, so I'll take that one on the chin. But that's my time for this week, guys. Just a quick reminder that next week will be our Q&A season finale of Film Learnin, so be sure and get any questions you have for me in before Friday the 15th. I don't care what you ask, I will answer it, and I don't care how you deliver it to me. But thanks for watching, guys. If you haven't already, warm up by the subscribe button, or on the Twitter, hit those like and share buttons, and as always, keep learning!